guys? You're here with another episode of Aim with Purpose. You're here with my co-host, Matt Burke.
What's going on, guys?
And you got Big Zay on the beat, but today we got a special guest. We are interviewing Ryan Morris.
Hey, what's up, guys?
So we're going to get right into it. He's a close friend. We've been friends for a little while
Locked
at XCal. And we're just getting right into it. So without further ado, Ryan, tell us a little about yourself, what you do for a living, and what you got going on right now.
Absolutely. So I'm a creative entrepreneur. Right now, I pretty much specialize in managing social media accounts. I have about 5 solid clients right now, getting ready to lock in my 6th. Outside of that, I feel that I'm a creative director in certain avenues, but anything creative and being an entrepreneur is really where I specialize.
Yeah, so you might have your 7th client now.
Yeah.
Plus with some social media.
Yeah,
but,
Aim with Purpose.
You want to say something?
Yeah, I was just gonna get into the to the knit and grit of where it all kind of started, or even how the the different avenues that you have at the same time.
Absolutely. So I think it all started. I used to travel by myself a lot back in 2015, and I would need someone to take my photos. Mm-hmm. But I would be by myself.
Yeah.
So I'd bring my tripod around just to take photos of myself. And them shits turned out fire. And then I was like, I really like taking pictures. So then, I bought myself a camera. I'm asking people to do shoots. Mm-hmm. And then with that, social media just tied in everything. And I just wanted to show my personality through my creativity. And pictures and video allow me to do that.
Mm. That's awesome.
Same thing with us. I mean, that's why we chose this podcast as our vehicle.
Absolutely.
For entrepreneurship. Because I feel like it's easiest for me personally to express myself through my voice. I don't want to speak for Matt, but I feel like we both mutually knew that our voice we'd be comfortable sharing, and it's a good way for us to express ourselves. So I definitely connect with that.
Yeah, I really like this platform that you guys have here. I appreciate you guys inviting me.
Hey, we appreciate the guys. We really do. We try and stay true to the mission, which, like you said before, with the creative avenue, it's like you have a idea of what you want to portray to the world, and then it's a matter of going about what way you want to do that. And then we chose this, and then we're about to run with this as far as we can and help as many people as we can along the way.
This is the ground.
You guys are taking this to the top. I already know.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we have big
You brought the
plans in
studio,
place.
bro. I'm actually low-key obsessed with
The studio's fire. I love everything you guys got here. It's a vibe.
Without the light, it's nothing.
He's got dumbbells for me. I just hit a quick podcast pump.
That's free podcast pump.
Free podcast pumps.
That's lit.
No, so how long have you said you've been doing it since 2015?
I would say solid 2015.
Was it back then? Was it just a hobby? You just enjoyed it?
The thing was, I used to be in corporate America, and I was also in a relationship. So back then, I didn't really have much self-independency like I do now. Mm-hmm. I would put my job before myself. I would put my girl before myself. But I always, loved creating things, and I would never really get to it. So that's when it started. But when I really started putting it on front page was 2017. I would go to these photography meetups. I would meet people, network, learn from them. I would never hate on them. They were all better than me. They actually made me who I am today. Shout out to all the people that I used to meet back at the street meets. You guys, not right now. I'm on a podcast. So it really just started with, it all just evolves in everything, the fashion, the photography, the video, just the
expression,
exactly. Yeah. It just all ties into each other.
That's interesting to go from a corporate setting where you're kind of told how to act and how to portray the job that you do.
It was terrible.
And then you take it all into completely your own hands, and you realize, oh wait, I have complete and total creative freedom to do whatever it is that I'm trying to do.
And I was in projects. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. So I was in project management, and I learned a lot of valuable skills in the 9-to-5 setting that I apply every day to no matter what I do. Yeah. And I want to touch back on when I got involved in this. One of my best friends, Chris Lynch, shout out to Lynch Got Lost, one of the biggest mural artists in DC, he called me one day and he was just like, I want to do this mural thing full time. I'm ready. And that really flipped a switch on me because I was just like, I've always lived that cushy, I need this, 9 to 5 and I gotta play it safe. And then that's really when I started thinking like, yo, like I don't need to play it safe.
Is that how like your business idea came around? Like
exactly
around that time?
Yeah.
Wow, that's that one thing that I mean, even I struggle with now. When in terms of like taking that leap of faith, like you said, do you think like you have to? I mean, obviously you have to have some sort of like baseline level of confidence in order to do that. Like invest, or not even necessarily invest, but you have confidence in your ability to make it happen.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, they like second guess their ability.
Exactly. To this day, I still second guess myself. But like
that's the thing. So like, at what point did you kind of have like that confidence to like flip it to the on switch? Like, okay, I really can. Like, well, I don't have to be so dependent.
I was doing so much free work, and I was getting a lot of love from all the shoots I was doing, and that's really what built my confidence.
Same here.
But at the same time, I was in a relationship, and I always felt like damn. I'm out on these dates and stuff when I really wanted to just be like shooting or editing and things and putting that before myself. I think the real confidence builder was just the feedback I was getting from just grabbing any old body, going to a random park, shooting, linking with the people at street meet.
Yeah.
And here we are today. I mean, it's still not the main thing that I do. I've always have a couple streams of income, but soon it will be the main thing.
That's awesome. Do you have the questions? Did you want to get like into the tailored?
Oh yeah, no, I just zoned the fuck out because I dropped my mic, and then I was like trying to pick up back in the convo. So for real, we already answered a couple questions, but do you have a favorite part of being an entrepreneur? Because me personally, I feel like we've already touched a little bit on it, but the freedom that allows you to make your own choices and take your own free will and have faith in yourself. Is there a certain thing that you love about being an entrepreneur?
Man, being an entrepreneur, number one, is tough. I'm talking, it's lonely, it's dark. There's no one for you. There's no one really there for you, and you're just putting in all this work without really any recognition. I'm not talking about like what you post. I'm talking about like the stuff that happens when you're by yourself on a Friday night. It's late and you're just like grinding on your laptop. But my favorite part would be just knowing that like I'm working this hard for something that's my own. I'm not working this hard for somebody else to get somebody else richer. I'm working this hard, and this is nothing that anybody can take away from me.
Yeah, that's a really important aspect to it, and I think a lot of people need to realize the importance of that, because like no one wants to feel like they're, I mean, I guess there are some people in certain situations that are like overly, I guess, compassionate and empathetic, and they feel like they have no problem doing works for other people without getting the same return. But a large majority of people would want, or like once they hear the concept of, wow, my boss makes 10 times what I make,
and I'm doing way more work.
Yeah, or even if the work is the same, it's just a matter of like position at that point. It's not necessarily like what you can bring to the table. It's not necessarily of value. And so I think with entrepreneurship, it kind of proves that value that you can provide versus like someone implying what you can give.
They put this number or this value on you, and that's what you think you're worth.
Yeah, like you are worth X amount.
That's what you're worth.
Yeah, I feel like a salary is a drug that people, they feed people. But at the end of the day, I don't know how people don't think about doing this work for themselves instead of others. Because for me personally, I feel like it genuinely makes me upset when I put so much effort into someone else's energy, someone else's vision, someone else's dream, and when I could be doing that all on my own. Yeah, and I feel like that's been a big issue I had coming out of high school, thinking about why the fuck am I gonna go work for someone else when I could just figure out, by my own means, do my own thing. So I definitely piggybacked off that.
Let's go.
What was it always? I guess I know you said you came from the corporate side of it, so I'm guessing at one point it kind of like the narrative flipped. But what was it? What was life kind of like, or working and making money like before that switched to entrepreneurship?
I didn't really like anything.
Oh, okay.
Like I was
just tried a lot of things.
Oh wait, you're talking about like working as
like jobs.
Oh, okay, yeah. It was pretty much just like 9 to 5 work, and I always personal trained too on the side. And I also, I did the photography thing on the side. I always had some like side hustles.
Oh, I see what you mean. And then it turned into like
exactly. Yeah. Well,
okay.
they all started out as my hobbies, and like I just found out a way to make income off of them.
That's the thing.
And that's where I'm at right now with my hobbies, because I know that with what I enjoy, I can make money off of it.
Absolutely.
But it's all about a learning curve and how to use your gift and what you love to benefit off of it, I guess. Not just because, of course, you internally benefit off of your hobbies because you enjoy it. You have fun, makes you happy, but externally you want to get some money. You want to do something. It doesn't feel as good, all the time when you're doing some type of hobby. And
well, the reality of it, you would have to, at least in America, you have to maintain a certain level of money to even continue doing the hobby.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
that's what I meant.
Yeah. So
I always try to use the 9-to-5 jobs to build money to like invest in my own thing.
Because at that point, if you don't, then you're just in this constant cycle. It is so interesting because there's some people that don't mind the salary, and there's people that like. You've seen the other side of it, so you think, you don't have to succumb to that. But there's people that, like, they question what they can even do creatively, and then some people are just at the mercy of the fact that they just aren't that creative, and then it's like this weird imbalance between thinkers and doers, and like, does everybody have the potential, or are certain people just better at certain things, like. I don't know if the dude who's working on the power lines outside really cares or wants to pursue his hobby as an entrepreneurial passion. What if he just really likes the idea of like, okay, I go to work, I work on power lines, I do what I need to do with my hands, I work, and like that's
I know it's much easier to go that route.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's
because you got to put everything into entrepreneurship. There's no like days off.
Yeah, you got to go every single day thinking about it. Yeah. So like you said, with the salary being a drug, they kind of take they use it as a sense of like a safety net kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they put a safety net.
It's like you're comfortable, like you got a good life off of it, but it's like you could take it even further on your own and do your own thing.
Because the people that you work for started it for themselves.
Exactly, yeah. We all work for entrepreneurs.
Why not be one and learn from those people? Exactly. I feel like I worked at a pretty, I would say, high-end gyms in the last 2 years. And one thing I've learned from those people is that, people work for entrepreneurs day in and day out. But I feel like people don't really take from that. They don't really take anything from them bosses. Because you look up to them, you're like, fuck him, like... He's just bitching me around. It's more of a negative attitude around that. But instead, you should kind of learn it as a learning lesson and really take something from your boss that's an entrepreneur. And that's what I've taken from Lifetime and XCal for sure.
Instead of because the money, you could get money and then spend it right then and there. But knowledge and real
knowledge is power.
Yeah, exactly.
Gems from learning from someone that's on the line every day for 50 million, 51 billion, whatever, however much this facility's worth. You got to absorb.
Oh yeah, especially XCal, because in that specifically, when I was working at Lifetime, I don't see the CEO or I don't see the owner of the building walking around. So it's just the person who's the general manager, you are bought. You are just in place just like me. So to think at XCal, the founders, they're a part of it. They're involved in
it's awesome to see.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, it just hit me XCal is a very cool concept than other gyms, because I don't know, I guess like you said, it's not really corporate yet.
Not yet.
But and the stages it's in now, I've definitely learned a lot more. I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's just good. It's just my brain. It's more sense of community, because I heard this recently on a podcast where if you're trying to get someone to work for you, you want them to believe in the vision in which you are trying to believe in the goal that you're trying to do, because if you just giving them a task and a job and money, they could do that literally anywhere else.
Sure.
But if you can somehow, I guess, convince them through their own internalization that what you're doing is making a difference and is making a huge difference and is impact to it and growth, then people are way more inclined to be a part of it rather than just being a part of it for the thing that they could get literally anywhere else.
Absolutely.
So I think that's another thing too. A lot of people just look at the money and they see the job and they're like, I just need this to make this, but I don't care what I do while I'm there. But at the end of the day, like, you're gonna be there 40 hours a week. Like,
Absolutely.
eventually you're gonna care.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all about trying to keep it, I guess, purposeful in your work.
Keep it 100.
Yeah, exactly.
So earlier, Ryan, you touched on like at first there wasn't as much confidence when you first started doing film and doing your social media projects. What really like helped you like push through that like barrier, like with the fear you had? Like what made you conquer your fear as time went on?
I think it was going through a breakup. I was in a really low, dark place.
Facts. I feel you.
And I just went through this like tough breakup where like I was just down. And it was like 2 months where I was just a piece of shit. I wasn't doing anything. But like in that second month, I was just like, bro, like you got to pick yourself up. Like you have so many talents that you can like eat off of like forever. And then just daily I would just keep telling myself like positive affirmations and shit, and I just kind of got the like that boost of confidence, like I said. And then I kind of got back out there more, doing more shoots, and then really just like one thing led to another. It's just like all the referrals, and then you know, and then I don't know, it just kind of like did its own thing once I like really got out there. And then, you know, this friend wants something, then that friend wants something, and then this business owner wants to talk, and that business owner.
When you look back on it was like very like this.
Yeah.
Do you like? I know you said you played a part in the meetups of like a lot of
absolutely,
like group collaboration. Do you like how big of an emphasis is?
Oh, sorry, that was the hugest influence.
Okay,
I mean to touch base on that, because that's when I met people that actually were creative entrepreneurs, and that's all they did. Because before that, I never, you know, my friends, you know, they all had stable jobs. You know, some had this little side hustle, that side hustle. But when I was meeting these people that were creative entrepreneurs, it was just like mind blowing to me. Like I met this girl, Sturdy TV, and she used to travel the world and create content for people. And at the time I was like, yo, how did I couldn't even like wrap my head around how she's making that possible. But fast forward, now I'm doing the same. Like I'm not traveling because you know I really love working out and I like staying in the gym, and I'm old and I'm boring. But had this been a long time ago, where I am now, I definitely would have been traveling. But, you know, that's really what it was. It was just seeing these people that were 100% creative entrepreneurs making a great life out of it.
Because it was like you were doing it, like you wanted to do it full time, and they were already doing it.
They were doing it, yeah.
So there was something that they had that you needed. And
exactly.
Through collaboration, conversation, and I mean, I can already tell you're a genuine person, so these people aren't gonna like not give you good advice.
Yeah,
you know, if you
earlier you brought up how you used positive affirmations to change that mindset, which is pretty crazy because the last like 2 guests I feel like we've had on, we have brought that up, and I feel like people, you know, clown on it. But in my opinion, I feel like the brain becomes what you think about.
Exactly.
Like, you're planting a seed in your mind and you're watering it 24/7, and that's that's what helped me. You know, through a dark time that I was in, you know, down and out, not doing shit for a couple months, and then you really look in the mirror and you're like, damn, you gotta pick yourself up.
Absolutely.
Because you're really the man. Like you're really you're fucking the main character. You're
you
the
just gotta start speaking that.
Yeah, and you have to start speaking it. And before, you know, when I was down and out, you weren't speaking that. You were honestly feeding into it. You were accepting it. You were comfortable with feeling negative. You were comfortable with saying these mean things to yourself.
Exactly.
Once you really start speaking yourself to what you truly believe deep down, then I feel like it definitely makes a mind switch, because if you were down and out and you went to those meets or did whatever, it would have been hard to stay confident. But me personally, I've used positive affirmations to change my mindset, because when you're thinking negative, all you're gonna get is negative.
Exactly. And it's like, if I think I'm a piece of shit, then soon
I'm
gonna believe that.
Yeah,
if I think I'm a great person and I mean well and I move with love, then that's, you know, eventually I'm gonna start thinking, wow, that's who I actually really am.
And there's always those 2 voices. There's the voice that is doubting you, that's keeping you there, and then there's the voice that like truly like knows deep down, like this is really
God knows.
Yeah, this is really just a phase in whatever you're into. But there's, like I said, there's that other part that's like, nah, this is gonna be reality for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, it takes that moment where you just look in the mirror and you're like, I'm just so sick of this.
Yeah.
So then, from there you just kind of jump on it.
Yeah, you were just at a low point, and it's just like, where else is there really to go? You know, you're just,
exactly.
You're just sitting. It's like I
don't even know how to get up from this.
It's a stock chart, if you will. You know, a stock. If no one's familiar, you know, a stock chart. It has like a support. It has a low that it's supposed to bounce off of, and I feel like that correlates to kind of like anyone's life. Like
you start getting that resistance.
That's true. Yes, that's true. Yeah, and I feel like, like you said, resistance. There's points in life that you have to break through, and there's just. You can't just stay at the bottom forever. You have to go up at some point. Mm-hmm. So it's up to you to decide when that point is to go up. Yeah. And I feel like we can all mutually agree on that topic, I guess.
Yeah.
You know what else really helped me was starting therapy, because I dealt with depression. I dealt with anxiety so much. Mm-hmm. And so I got that taken care of around 2018. And then that's when the creative, like I really felt like my brain was unleashed, because I dealt with a lot of childhood trauma. I'm not going to get into it, but that was like one of the main things that's held me back was the depression, the anxiety. Mm-hmm. And when I finally got help for it, I just felt like I'm really unstoppable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I can attest to that too, because I feel like when you do things like that, because me personally, I've had the same, and I feel like it's easier to express something and get a different perspective when you're talking to someone else about it. And, I've gone to therapy for I think it was like a month or two. And then I was like, fuck this, I'm going to talk to myself. And it was kind of like, I wasn't just talking to myself, but like I would pray and I would just talk to myself. I would talk to God. And I feel like that helped me a lot too, because when you're constantly staying in that negative, we just talked about that, but when you're constantly staying in that negative and you're not going to really talk about what you've been through, it stays in your body. But if you release what you've talked about and you release that thought, I feel like that thought doesn't come back as easy.
Yeah. And, that's what I was thinking, is that like if you keep those thoughts in your head, it's like a I guess a ping pong ball. Like it keeps bouncing back and forth, and then eventually it'll fly by your eyes. You'll be like, oh damn, I hate that thought, or I hate thinking about that. But then as soon as you speak it out of your, like, if you can have the courage to say it out loud and outwardly, whether it's to someone else or not,
then you can conquer it.
Exactly. Then you don't have to be so fearful of it that it's in your head and it's made up, whatever. But what I was gonna ask was because I've never actually had therapy, and I've had thoughts of getting it, not necessarily because I'm sad or depressed.
I'll be your therapist.
But
I think everybody needs it, no matter what.
I think this is therapy.
No, I agree. Yeah. I think a lot of people would benefit off of it.
Do you think everybody?
I'm not even gonna date a girl unless she's seen a therapist. Mm-hmm. Because there's just so much shit, your brain, we go through so much in life, and it's like, and if you don't have an outlet to really handle that, and I'm not talking about your hobbies or just working out even harder, which I always try to do, but that's not the way, because your brain doesn't care. Mm-hmm. So until you really take care of your brain, I don't think you can really have full self-worth until you understand like everything you've been through and why it was like that and why you feel like that.
Yeah. Because a lot of unanswered questions.
Exactly.
Because you don't, like you said, you don't think about those things if it's not like in front of you. Like a lot of people.
But the behaviors that you're doing every single day are because of those things.
Yes, that's so true.
And then you can like get answers like, oh wow, I'm not an asshole. It's just I just have I have unresolved trauma. Mm-hmm. For real, that makes me think like that. I learned these behaviors because I had to deal with that.
And that understanding just further like makes you less fearful of it. Or I guess like with the clarity that comes with it, you're more inclined to, okay, well, now that I can speak what the problem is, I can 9 times out of 10 find the solution.
For sure.
So, yeah, I agree with that. I feel like people don't realize, but you are a reflection of your past.
100%.
And people really don't reflect on the past because they are fearful of it. Mm-hmm. And you're not going to face what you fear because it's uncomfortable. It's not a good feeling. But once you do face what you fear, I feel like it is easier to go about your business and find true self-worth, like you said. Because, that definitely resonated with me, because you do run from your fear. You do run from your past trauma. You do it every day, and people don't realize you are a reflection of your past. Exactly. And it's up to you to conquer those demons, if you will, or conquer your past. You have to basically rewrite your history, and if you don't, you're allowing your past traumas to conquer you. And a lot of people don't really accept that.
Yeah. I'm glad, man, because It honestly saved my life. Not like saved my life, but it just
saved your mindset.
Exactly, yeah, which is everything. You know, because I used to have a really negative mindset. Just for no reason. I would just be negative, and you know, it wasn't a pleasure to be around. And then, you know, energy is super. What's the word I'm looking for?
Contagious?
Contagious, yeah, sorry. You know, energy is really contagious, so always keep that in mind. Like, no matter if I'm dealing with some shit, you know, I gotta just check that at the door.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting
it. No lie, Ryan.
Check it at the door.
Ryan gave me a fire thing I still use to this day. And I think we came about it maybe around summertime, sometime early summer. He had these like morning entries.
Oh, yeah.
And then night entries.
Damn, I gotta get back to that.
And I also literally need to get back to that because they were so fucking helpful. And I only did it. I did it inconsistently, you know, on and off. I'd do it for a week, 2 weeks, and then I'd stop. And then try to do it for a couple of days. And I'd stop.
March, let's get back into it.
I'm down for sure. I'll do it. I'm gonna literally do it when I get upstairs. But basically, there would be a morning entry, right? So the morning entry would consist of 5 things that you felt when you woke up, like 5 emotions maybe you felt when you woke up.
Things that are still lingering, like if it's Wednesday and you had a problem at work or something on Monday, like have you like really dealt with it, or is it still lingering? You know what I mean?
Or like, for example, let's say something you want to accomplish that day.
Exactly.
Something that you want to feel at the end of the day, maybe an emotion.
Give yourself 5 compliments in the morning.
Exactly, stuff like that. That shit helped so much. And then there would be a night entry, and it'd be like 5 things I accomplished today, 1 thing that I dealt with or faced, something like that. 1 thing I want to accomplish tomorrow. And just the list goes on. I think I have 2 or 3 pages that he made himself.
Yeah, it was really good with. I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off.
No, I was done talking. But yeah, they're fire.
Like if someone pisses you off, like you can just write about it at night and kind of put it to bed. But now I haven't been doing that, so like if things happen, I'm just like still thinking about it.
Oh, you wake up with it the next day?
No, I don't wake up with it. It's just like I'm not really putting it to bed like I should be. And I'm glad Isaiah brought that back up so I can get back on it.
No, I'm literally gonna start doing that as well. I have a big whiteboard, and after I started doing that every day, I'd have the morning entry, night entry. I definitely saw a difference. And you brought up like writing about it, something that would happen. You write about it. Matt's I'm sure he'll speak about it, but writing, I'm sure you better bring that up.
Writing is amazing.
I've never done it, but I feel like I don't write, but I definitely talk to myself internally, like kind of a meditation level. But I feel like maybe I don't know what writing is to you, but
I mean, writing for me is like, I guess, kind of like. This kind of goes along with what you were just talking about with the morning and night entries. Like I have something that's in my head. So whether it's like a problem or an idea, or like most of the time it's a problem, because an idea like I'd like to think about, whereas like a problem like I don't want to think about. So I gotta like get it out of my head so I can like truly analyze what the situation is. But I essentially just write out the problem that I'm having or I'm dealing with in a narrative sense, as if I was talking to, and then just blank, like talking to, whether it's myself, anyone, if I showed it to you, like I would write it in a way where I would show it to you, and it would be like, not necessarily third person, it could be first person, it could be whenever tense you want. But the main idea is just to get the problem out of my head. So like I said, it kind of goes back to what we were all talking about, just to see it, like literally just to visualize.
I get what you're saying.
Like, because as soon as I visualize it, it goes back to what I said before about, you know, recognizing the problem, and there's 9 times out of 10 a solution. So if I'm not like thinking about it and contradicting myself in my head, and I write it out, I see the idiocracy that shows if it's a bad thought, a negative thought that's just in passing.
And that's another way of therapy as well. Just you're visualizing, you're reflecting on what happened. And damn, now I'm thinking about those morning entries. I'm about to do that when I get upstairs. Like, no lie. But I think it was from like July. I literally dig back deep. I also put Ethan on. You're fine. I put Ethan onto the morning entries too. He was fucking with those, and they're fire, bro. Like you wake up and you tell yourself how you feel in the morning. Because most mornings, you know, you lay in bed and you just linger with like this negative emotion. But if you wake up off ripping, like, this is how I feel today, it makes you forcefully write down good things. Because if you write down, I feel meh, and then by the end of the day, this is how I want to feel. That's what the last question would be. I want to feel happy today. I want to feel accomplished. I want to feel wealthy. And by the end of the day, you feel that in some type of nature. And yeah, that definitely helps. I'm about to get on that. Definitely shout out Ryan.
And starting out the day with intention.
Exactly.
Yeah, it starts the day with intention.
Yeah.
I mean, if I lay in bed for 30 minutes or whether it's 10 minutes scrolling, I have no intention for the rest of the day. Your brain is in a certain brainwave state when you first wake up.
And even just phones in general, like there's I really need to fact check myself, but there's a neurological fact where as soon as you wake up or as soon as you like have the inclination when you're awake to, as soon as you look at your phone, at least for me personally, because I've been like, oh damn, this is actually a real thing. Do you ever, like, as soon as you look at your phone, whether to turn off your alarm or check the time or whatever, you instantly remember, like, everything about what you need to do, like, for the, like, with the phone? Like, whether it's, like for example, when I wake up and I turn off my alarm, I'm already thinking to myself, all right, I'm going to work. Like, it kind of, like, starts my brain off, like, way higher. Yeah. And I'm, like, because I have to remember everything that, like, I'm doing, like, right in the moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Instead of like, I touch my phone right off.
And that's the thing. You start from sleep state, and then to just immediately like wire like right back into it without that like kind of gradual intention. Like, okay, maybe instead of like you said scrolling for other people, maybe I look at what do I need to do for the day before I start scrolling. Because if I start scrolling, then I won't look at that, and then that's just another wasted day.
Absolutely.
My problem is I'm like, even if like I said, I'm literally a crackhead. Like, I've been on my phone an excessive amount even since high school because that's all I do in class. So I wouldn't pay attention. I do my phone. And even if like I said, you control your morning off rip, doing the morning entries, doing what you think about reading, whatever it is. I feel like I have a serious issue of even checking my phone for like 20 seconds, let's say, and then I'll start my day. I feel like that does, like you said, I connect with, like, it definitely puts me in a certain mind state to more susceptible to check my phone and do things that I would do normally.
Because I mean, as soon as you open it, like you're already sensitized in, like you're already locked in. Because I mean, yeah, you could turn it off and then, but you see someone texted you. Now you're thinking about the conversation, then you forget you had to do this, and it's like it just completely kind of derails you. That's why I got that alarm clock. Because like I was tired of using my phone as an alarm clock because
I need one of those.
It was, I'm telling you, it was a good investment. I got it on Amazon for like maybe $10. But yeah, the phone, it was just like, it was turn off the alarm, look at my phone, and then I'm instantly like, you know, like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm instantly involved in things that are outside what I'm doing currently.
Absolutely.
Like, I need to focus on waking up, doing like, you know, practicing.
I don't know, bro.
Practicing good hygiene, like all the good like morning stuff that, you know, a lot of successful people do.
Yeah.
Focus on that.
Stretch,
yeah, exactly.
yoga.
Yeah. Focus on that versus just instantly, boom, I'm thinking about things that are outside of what I'm doing in the day to day.
My mornings were honestly probably the best around the summer when Ryan gave me the morning entry thing.
Oh no, we gotta get back.
Yeah, and then I would literally program my brain off the rip of the days. And I'm literally like he's about to do, I'm about to write that down. Like, yeah, like start morning entry. I'm gonna start night entry tonight, and I'm gonna do morning entry tomorrow. And I literally feel like my days were the most productive. I was mentally the most happy. I was just the best I have ever been in my life when I was doing the morning entries, reading a book, and just focusing on my craft on the summer. The amount of growth I felt I made was just pretty crazy. And that was around the time when we met Mark.
Oh, Mark, yeah.
And I was studying for my personal training exam. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was dope for sure.
I mean, with the night entries, it seems I guess everything we're talking about, it all kind of circles around like hyper-analyzation of yourself. And so I think I'm bringing this up like to pose a question, like if you don't hyperanalyze yourself, then you're susceptible to what goes on around you and you get swayed so easily.
Sure.
So do you think, like, what would you give advice for someone who wants to be more grounded, like in terms of their morals, in terms of their standing, in terms of being comfortable? Because I mean, we've all talked about it. It all kind of starts with that self,
right?
Like self-audit, essentially.
Get a therapist.
Yeah. just to have someone. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah, just to have someone to.
Because they know all the right questions to ask to get you talking. Because for me, it was just hard to even just start talking. And but she just understood. I mean, that's what she does. How to get me talking, and then with that, just. I mean, and also, you know, I don't talk about this enough too. I haven't mentioned this, but just believing in a higher power, having faith,
Agreed.
and just knowing that like whatever you're going through is not the end of the world. You know, you're gonna go through a lot of shit, and you might be going through some shit right now, but just understand that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Because when I would go through things back in the day, I would just get so down, like, oh my God, like this is never gonna end. And with each punch I took, I was just like, all right, yeah, I can do this. And all those losses just really built my confidence. It's like, yo, I took so many losses and grew up so fucked up, and I'm just ready for the next loss I'm gonna take. Because with each loss, like, you're gonna learn something. It's gonna make you stronger.
Yeah. Every loss is a lesson, and you only truly fail or lose if you quit doing it. Yeah.
Exactly. Or if you just take the loss and you're like, damn, you didn't learn anything from it. Like, why didn't you learn from something?
Yeah, that's the worst. Yeah.
I feel like I definitely that was definitely what helped me. Is literally how you said it. I definitely agree with that. Oh fuck! I just gonna say something and then I just like lost my train of thought. But basically, I was gonna ask, but just to wrap up with the end of the podcast, probably still have another 15 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is. Reflecting on the past.
Yeah.
Is there anything you would go back and change, Ryan? Like at all? Whether it's some tiny thing, is there just something you wish differently to make you end up in a better situation than you are in today's time?
I think I would. I really wish I would have just put myself first more.
Agreed.
When I was
and I feel like we've
had like damn near every single older-ish person. I don't consider you old.
Oh, I'm old.
Nah.
Wow, I am old though.
Every person that we have brought that up to.
Just like putting myself first. Like, well, I always felt like I had to have like a girl around or like some homies around.
Amen.
And where are they at now? Like,
exactly.
I'm here.
At the end of the day, I feel like I think it's natural because you're go to school from kindergarten to 12th grade. Let's say you go to college. At the end of the day, you're so used to not putting yourself first. Yeah. Because it's the way you're programmed to think.
Exactly.
And it's not anyone's fault. It's just the way that we are brought up in today.
Yeah.
And I feel like I had a huge problem with that at first, is not putting myself first. Because when you don't put yourself first, you lose yourself.
Exactly.
And that's where all the hyper attention to self-reflection we talked about in the last couple minutes, that's where it came from for me, is because I put everyone else but myself first. And that's what truly got me lost in the abyss. I was just lost. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who Isaiah Smallwood was to me. I knew what everyone else saw me as, but I didn't know who I was. So when I was alone, because you're alone majority of the time, I didn't know who I was. It's like I had no personality, no identity to myself. Everyone else knew who Isaiah Smallwood was, but did I know who Isaiah Smallwood was? So that's what I had the biggest issue with. And then, as time goes on, you learn to really love yourself, because at the end of the day, when you look in the mirror, it's just you. When you go through bullshit and you go through pain and you go through a lot of these things that happen in your life, I'm sorry, I'm not going to lie to you. Most likely, you're going to do that by yourself. Absolutely. No matter how much your family loves you, no matter how much your girlfriend loves you, at the end of the day, she can't deal with what you're going through because it's your own emotions. It's your own brain. They can't help anything. So at the end of the day, I feel like putting yourself first and loving yourself over anything in this world besides a higher power, if you believe in that, then I feel like that's number one. Absolutely. I feel like that's something that I hone in on every day. Yeah,
you got to be able to be comfortable in your own skin.
For sure.
For all the reasons that you just said. And to just also, I guess, like to just have like a positive outlook. I don't see how you could have a real positive outlook on life if you don't see yourself as someone that you love.
Positive. Exactly.
Yeah, because I mean, another thing too, a little side note, I mean, we all know you can't love someone else if you don't love yourself.
For sure.
It's just emptiness, and you don't really know how to go about it.
Exactly.
And it's like you're trying to run before you can walk. Like it's people don't take this. I feel like especially the way society goes in the West, people aren't taking the steps that we talk about because it's hard. Like it's not hard. Like these aren't easy things.
And it has such a negative connotations. Right. Like I'll talk to people now about therapy, like grown men. They're like, oh, I don't need no therapist.
Yeah, it's like, bro, yeah, you do. That's why I'm making this because men are trained not
to. They need it the most. We need it the most.
Yeah, I agree. Men have fucking issues in this world because of what is portrayed on them in today's society.
Especially as a black man, no offense to anyone who's not black, but it's just a different playing field.
No, it's just not just blacks, but any
minorities. Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
let me not. The way they are brought up. Yeah, the way they are brought up. No, it doesn't matter. I mean, we can though. But the way we are brought up, I feel like it's just like I was told to be such a strong man, the man of the house. I can't deal with a sad emotion. I just
better not cry.
I walk over that bullshit. It doesn't matter. But as you grow up, you realize that you need that self-reflection, that self-love, and you're trained not to do that as a man in most days and age. I mean, look at your dad as well. The same thing he's on. And I feel like it's just them boomers, bro.
And looking back, I would just learn how to deal with the criticism and the shade and the hate better. Because I used to let it get to me when I was first starting. I would just have people who I thought were close to me just hating out of nowhere. I was like, what the fuck? And I used to let it get to me. But I think if you're gonna do anything creative or something that you're good at, you're gonna have a lot of people who are just hating for no reason or just trying to throw shade on what you're doing. So I think the best thing is just to use it as fuel.
And if you're someone who's in the background and you want to do, you want to start that journey of being self-expressive in your ways and monetizing it, you can't be that naive. As in when whoever you go into it, everybody understands at least a little bit that not everyone's gonna like this, but it always hits so much harder when you actually hear it and say it. You can never prepare enough. You're well, I think it's pretty good, but I feel like some people won't. And then one person does it, you're like, wow, bro, that was really I really tried, bro. Yeah. I really put my all into it. Yeah.
I feel like definitely drop some gems because you just brought up if people do want to get on that path of starting their self-love and starting to put themselves first. I know it's such a hard habit. It's like a root in a tree. There's some roots that are so deep in the tree that I've been growing for so long. It's so fucking hard to dig them out. Damn near impossible. I feel like a good step to, start that self-reflection, that self-love is to honestly find forms of therapy that work for you, like Ryan brought up or Matt brought up.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be a therapist, but some type of therapy.
Some type of therapy that you find works for you. And I feel like for me, it was meditation and I being more aware of why I feel these emotions and what goes on in my daily head. For Matt, he's always brought up to me that writing helps. He even brought up today, visualizing that issue and stepping back and seeing a different perspective because you wrote it out. You can literally, you're not, when you're thinking, it's just subconscious thinking. You only use 10% of your brain. When you're writing on a piece of paper and you step back and look at that, what happened, I feel like that's another form of therapy or literally getting a therapist. I feel like everyone needs to start their self-love journey, and I feel like it needs to get there ASAP.
Yeah. And I mean, it's harder because it's implied that it's hard. It's like you said before.
Life is hard though, bro. Everything is hard. That's the thing.
So if you, and like you said before with the deep roots, the further you push this thing aside because it's difficult, and then you go through all these the rotating wheel of suppressants and distractions, and then eventually you'll either get to a point where you physically can't indulge in those things, or mentally you can't indulge in it. And so it's not saying this you have to get onto it, but just know the longer you wait, the harder and harder it is.
Absolutely.
Because you look at people, like you said before, boomers, or people who are 50, 60, 70. Even back then, they weren't aware.
50s. Yeah, the 50s, they weren't aware.
Yeah, they weren't aware of how important it was to internalize the problem so that way you can be a better person and evolve. I know so many people who are, it's one thing to be grounded in your morals, but to be ignorant to other ideas is just a form of you stopping your own evolution. To think just to even have the mindset at a certain age where nah, I'm good. I don't need that. Like you said, like, I don't need that. Like, bro, like this guy that's the same age as you does need it. So once again with this egotistical thing, like why do you think we're all human beings at the end of the day, and we all go through the same things, like in the grand eye of it. So I mean, never think that you're above or below anyone else. You're just at a different point in whatever process you're in.
For sure.
No, we was dropping some gems today. I really fucked with the episode. I'm sure we'll get Ryan back on, or who knows, Ryan's about to have a 7th client. Who knows?
Hey, appreciate you guys.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we'll be in touch. We'll plug everybody's social. We'll get everybody connected. But I hope everyone enjoyed this episode today. Short and sweet. Nothing bad. Only got better as the episode went on.
Let's go. Let's heal.
For real though. I want everybody to heal. That's why I'm making this. I want men to accept emotions. I want the humans to evolve and be the best version of themselves. So at the end of the day, I hope everyone takes from this and grows as a human being today. So without further ado, I'm going to go eat my smoothie or drink my smoothie and get right. So I hope you all have a good day, brothers.
All right, see you guys.
Ooh.